Join the conversation.
Let's talk some business.
All right. Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday, Cinco de Mayo. Yay. I don't know. I am not planning on going out for Cinco de Mayo today. So, but for those of you that are going to enjoy celebrating it, just do it safely, please. Should be an interesting holiday this this year because it does fall on a Saturday. So I think everybody's going to want to really get after it and have a good time tonight. So if you're going out there, make sure that you do it safely. And all right, well, I want to talk about some things. I'm going to get a couple things going here. I want to do all this on my own. It's always a little bit entertaining. So bear with me for 1 second while I pop up the next piece that I need here. Okay. So today I want to talk about setting some SMART goals. It's something that I talk about in my seminars, and it's actually something that we're really trying to bring into our lives here at my house. Last week, my wife and I really went through this with her business for Rodan and Fields, and trying to really understand, how to grow her business a little bit more. And so I'm going to use a slide that I use in my seminar to help us out with this story today. And I want to talk about SMART goals and what SMART stands for. So let me get that popped up here. And there we go. There we go, like that. Okay, perfect. So everybody should be able to see that. We've got our, what? Can I flip that? No, that's not right. Well, all right. I'll take myself out of the picture there. Perfect. All right. So we want to talk about these goals, and we're going to use our little fish as an example here. This little fish wants to get from his small pond into his big pond, and therefore, he's got to do some things. He's got to make that big jump, and so he's got goals. And maybe that's what we're after. Maybe we're trying to get from point A to point B here to a bigger pond with more customers and more for us and all of that other kind of stuff. And that's a worthy goal. But unfortunately, just saying I want more customers is not going to get you where you need to go, because it doesn't give you enough information to have the proper strategy. So what we really need to do when we're talking about setting goals is we need to do SMART goals. Now, this is really important for marketing and marketing planning and stuff like that. It's extremely important to be able to do this and do this well in that arena. But I'd go so far as to say that this is probably how we need to look at most goals in our life. How do we make it less general and more specific? So let's talk about what a SMART goal is here. And see if I can get the right tools up. All right, perfect. So a SMART goal, S.M.A.R.T, and that's an acronym. And so let's start off with the S. The S stands for specific, meaning it needs to be very specific in what we're talking about. So my favorite way to explain this is maybe somebody that is wanting to get more rhinestone business, and maybe you make a rhinestone shirt. So instead of saying I want more customers, what I want to say is I want 10 new customers. So that's very specific. So make sure our goal is very specific in what we're after. All right, the next piece is measurable. So instead I want more customers, I want 10 new customers. We can measure what 10 new customers looks like. We say, okay, here's my starting point, and when I get 10 new customers, I've reached my goal. So I can measure that. Another important part of measuring all this is, in fact, Eric Campbell in the podcast popped this up, and I've heard this lots of other places, but what gets measured gets managed. So important to have measurable goals. All right, the A stands for achievable. So make sure that your goal is something that you can achieve. Yes, we want to reach for the stars. Yes, we want to really kind of get to something further down the road, but we do need to be able to achieve it. So to say I need 100 new customers today, Saturday starting at 10 a.m. and I've got, limited time and maybe it's possible. I'm not saying that that's not possible, but maybe that's not where I want to go. So I need to make sure it's very achievable as to what I do. If I want to get 10 new customers that buy something that I don't do, that's not very achievable either. So again, that's all that achievable means. Just make sure that it's within your wheelhouse, but don't limit yourself by making it too small because of this. Don't use this as a crutch. Make achievable something that's out there, but something that you can do. All right. So let's get to R. R is relevant. Relevant kind of falls a little bit in with achievable too. So if you're going to get 10 new customers and you really don't have a way to service those customers, that might not be relevant. Maybe your goal instead should be, I need to get my website off the ground, or, I need to make sure I've got all my equipment working properly for me. Or in the case of decorators here, if you don't make rhinestone shirts, then you probably don't want to go get 10 new rhinestone customers. So make sure it's, sorry, let me go back. So make sure that it's relevant to you and what is ultimately going to make you successful. All right. And then the next part is trackable. We need to make sure that this goal is also trackable. So it kind of fits in with measurable, but measurable would be 10 new customers, but let's make it trackable. Let's set a time limit for it, for ourselves. So again, back to the rhinestone shirts, maybe it's not, I want more customers as my goal, but my goal instead should be, I want 10 new customers that buy rhinestone shirts in the next 3 months. So that would fit all of our requirements here. That would make it a SMART goal. It's very specific. We want new customers that buy rhinestone shirts. It's measurable. We want 10. So I know when I've got 10, it's achievable in the next 3 months, 10 new customers, totally achievable. And I know you can do it. You just need to go out and do it. It's relevant to us. 10 new customers that buy rhinestone shirts, and rhinestones is what I do really well. So that's, it's very relevant to it, and it's trackable. 3 months from now, I can look back and say, do I have 10 new customers that are buying rhinestone shirts? So that is how you set a SMART goal. What I normally do, and let me just pop this up there real quick. If you want to go get some more information about my seminars and download some stuff, just go to aaronmontgomery.info/seminars, and you can put some information in there and get some great stuff. Come and check me out, all that kind of fun stuff. All right, so we're going to shut that part down and get that closed. And bye-bye picture of me. Back to me. All right. So there we go. We've got, that's our SMART goal. That's what we want to be doing. So what I like to do with this, though, is I like to take and write out a couple of different things, maybe more generic general goals, and then pick that one that I think is going to be most important to me, and then break it down. Maybe take and write the word SMART down the side of a piece of paper like we did in that slide there. And you take that word and you break it out and you say, is it specific? I want new customers. No, that's not specific. So let's get specific. I want 10 new customers. And again, go through each one of those pieces and write it out and make sure you check all those boxes. And then go back and look at it and go, what, is this enough? Is this too much? So from there, once I have that goal, though, that really opens things up for me. It really makes kind of what the next steps are so much easier to figure out, because now I know that all my efforts need to go into pushing rhinestones, talking about rhinestones, telling the story about rhinestones, and it needs to be focused on finding new customers. So I can now narrow down what I'm doing, spend less time and money doing these things, and go after these SMART goals. But without that SMART goal there, you're never going to be able to get there. You're just going to feel like you're never achieving your goals. and this is a process. This is we start with our business, we start where we're going, and we've got to get from point A to point B. So we have to set these goals along the way. Set the big, wild, crazy, big dream goals, but then break those down into these smaller, SMART goals along the way. And ultimately you will then get to that big goal, and maybe take that big goal and break it down a little bit too, into being a little bit more specific. I want to be successful in my business. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? What may be successful in my business might mean something different to you. Success to me is helping people and doing things that make me feel good, at the same time paying the bills for my family. So those things are might be different than what it means to be successful for you. Maybe you want to be the rhinestone king or queen of the world. So that's why you need to do it. That's how you do it. And I know you can do it. So anyways, that's it for today. One thing I would like to ask from you guys is, please, please, please reach out to me. Tell me what you think. Let me know what else you want to learn about. I've got a list of things that I want to keep covering every Saturday here, but I would rather it be something that you want to cover, not what I think you want me to cover. So please, please, please reach out to me, aaronmontgomery.info. Hit me up on Facebook, however you want to do it. And I love doing this every Saturday. It makes my morning, and hopefully it helps you as well. Awesome. Have a wonderful day.